Hello and welcome back to the channel. Just want to say a big thank you to anyone who watched my previous video. As I'm staring at it right now, it sits on 241 views, which is pretty impressive. I was not expecting, like, when it got to like 30, I was like, that'll be it. So if you watched that video, thank you. Now today we're going to do something a little bit differently. A couple of months ago, I was on the Sports Bible Find the Fake Fan video. Now it's been 5 months. So it's time to go through it, talk through my thoughts, and let's see what happens. Let's get into it.
Claim to support Tottenham,
but are not all telling the truth.
at least one of them
Me.
is a Chelsea fan.
Can they find the fake fan?
Right then, let's get into it. Round one. So easy, this one. What is your favourite Spurs memory?
Now, I went into this with pre-planned answers in the sense that I went and watched a couple of these to find out what are the most generic questions they're going to ask, just so I get flustered sometimes, you know, and in a situation like that, the lights were bright, the biggest stage, so I had tried to work out what was going to be said, and in my head, there was only one correct answer.
James, why don't you kick us off?
It's probably when I went to Madrid with my dad and brother for the Champions League final. I didn't actually go to the game, but it took about 18 hours to get there because the flights were just outrageously expensive. But just the whole weekend, like the buzz of it, we've never been in a final. Everyone was top form other than Tottenham, obviously.
I'd probably say...
So, my thoughts with that are that Champions League final, the fond positive memories stop at around 8 o'clock that day. 8 o'clock and 10 seconds, to be exact. So, for me, I couldn't get my head around that being your favourite memory, knowing that we went on to lose it. Also, I think it was just a slip-up, but he said we've never been to a final before, and I was like, we've been to quite a few. So, you know, the suspicions were there.
Wembley 2008 when we beat Chelsea in the final. I mean, that was the last time we won a trophy, so it's got to be that, really.
That came across as smug to me. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking, you had to get that little dig in there, didn't you? So, Alfie, I'm on to you.
Shaban?
Yeah, for me, it would be Gareth Bale versus Inter Milan. I remember going to school and telling people that there's this certain Spurs left back that you need to pay attention to. Everyone kind of mocked me, and he turned up, scored a hat-trick against the European champions. Ever since then, my friends started to respect me more for my football opinion. So yeah, I'd say that's one of my favorite memories from Spurs.
Yeah.
Now, looking back on it, that's the most waffle I've ever heard in my life. Also, your favourite Tottenham memory is a game that we lost. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't make sense.
I suppose the memory, my best memory is probably the first match that I ever went to, which was actually, ironically, in Belfast. Spurs come over in '81. It was the first match my dad ever took me to, and to see players like Glenn Hoddle and Ardiles and all those type of players, and Hoddle scored a cracking goal.
It's got to be the Champions League semi-final against Ajax, 3-0 down at half-time. And just
Only acceptable answer, really.
And then Lucas Moura turned up.
Chill with the close-ups.
Honestly, the same. Like that Ajax game, I was watching my whole family. We're all like rolling around on the floor. What was it, 93rd minute or something? Screaming, rolling about. It might actually be like my best family memory as well.
Right then, let's get into this. First vote, you've got...
Leave in the comments who you would have voted for based on them answers. I'm going to do that after every round, so just be honest.
a pen and some card in front of you. Write down the person who you believe to be a Chelsea supporter.
Okay, so you've all made your votes. Let's find out who you think is the fake fan. Let's start with you, Alfie.
I voted James because I just can't fathom picking that game. Like, I've not watched that game once since.
See, that was my thinking.
That memory is scarred and grim for me.
I went for Sammy. I felt like you just went off what Sip said. So
I'm all seeing, all knowing, all knowledge, baby.
Again, I went for James. Again, just the thought of a defeat in a final like that just can't make sense to me as to why it could be your best memory, regardless of why. So,
Sip.
I've actually gone for Alfie. It's a bit rogue because he did go for the Carling Cup that we won. But if he was a Chelsea fan, the one thing you could probably use to try and gain trust would be that game.
Sammy, let's have your answer.
Fantastic
I've
point.
gone for Alfie. I feel like your answer was easily researchable compared to everyone else's. I feel like everyone had kind of a personal story attached with it.
So, James, you are the final person to vote. Currently, you have 2 votes. Alfie, you also have 2 votes. James, who have you gone for?
It's fortunate. I went for Alfie.
Oh man.
Mainly because the context of the game, the last time we won a trophy was obviously 2008 against Chelsea. It's too bait for me.
Now, just to go back. Look how smug he is when he turns this around. It kills me every time, and keep it in mind for later.
I went for Alfie.
The man loves it.
Oh man.
Mainly
Loves it.
because
Voted off. Can you stand up and slowly reveal whether you are in fact a fake fan?
fair play. Man.
I was certain you were fake.
Allcott thought it was fake, and Allcott knows ball. So it was gutting, but everyone's
Him and I
reason
thought
was
it'd be a lot
justified.
easier, but it's hard. I think I voted James, but then after I did it, I doubted that. I actually think he might be real now.
So, in that first round, you have failed to find a fake fan, a Chelsea supporter, and the prize fund, courtesy of that prize guy, which was £5,000, has now gone down by £1,200 to £3,800.
So if it wasn't clear, we were losing 1,200 for every wrong answer. So normally they do a prize pool of 500, but this one, because it was sponsored by the prize guy, was 5,000. Big money up for grabs.
Annoyed. And it's essentially a chance that Chelsea will walk away victorious over Tottenham, not for the first time this week.
Let's dive into round 2. This should help.
What do Spurs do better than Chelsea?
Look at my face there, right?
What do Spurs do better than Chelsea?
Because realistically, from fan to fan, on the pitch, not a lot. Really. Do you know what I mean? Like, that, and I was like, this is going to sound bad. I was like, but... And we were all silent for like ages. They had to keep prompting us to answer because we were just like, no one really knew what the answer was. And yeah, it was a difficult question because you don't want to be too negative about Tottenham, but we're all self-deprecating. I think that's just like every football fan's trait. But if you're asked what do Spurs do better than Chelsea, on the pitch, not a lot.
Who wants to kick us off? All gone very quiet.
I think our style of play, I quite like how we play, very fluid. Like when it's there, it's very fluid, it's very fast-paced, very entertaining. Like Chelsea getting there recently, not been so much.
Why is this such a difficult question, Flo?
It's not a difficult question.
So why is no one answering?
I've got several answers that I can reel off right now. All right, let's switch this around a little bit. Sip, what did Chelsea do better than Tottenham?
So I got singled out there. Cheers, Flav. Thank you for that. And then I had to answer. I'm then putting myself out there, complimenting Chelsea in front of Tottenham fans. I'm trying to convince them that I'm a Tottenham fan.
I mean, this is going to sound really like bait, but they perform in the bigger games better than us, unfortunately. Against us throughout my whole life, bar a few times, they always manage to get it done. They could have their whole squad injured and they'd find a way, which sounds like I'm being really nice to them, but I promise you it's not. It's just more frustration that no matter what happens, we just can't seem to beat them.
James, on that supposed
Facts.
18-hour journey to Madrid, you would have had a lot of time to think of what it's like to be a Spurs fan in a great moment. Surely there's something in your mind in terms of the greatness of Spurs that they should have over most teams.
I think we have more of a family sort of community in the fan base in a way, because I think that Chelsea fans is, you could, especially the early days, well, when I was younger, there was always winning trophies. We've never won trophies. Won like one in my lifetime.
We have won trophies, so
Significant one anyway. And
Beggars can't be choosers, guys.
exactly,
Keep it up,
but
that's okay.
like we still support them through and through. Whereas I know so many Chelsea fans which are not real great fans. They're not like invested in their team.
Shadman, so we haven't really heard from you about what you think Spurs do better than Chelsea. Have you got any thoughts about what Chelsea do better than Spurs?
I think how ruthless they are with their managers. I think that's something, you know, they're always looking for success. So they're willing to take that dirty route, you know, sack the manager, get someone else new in, if that gets the job done. I feel like that's something
we've gone through managers
we need
like
to do
anything.
better.
Do you know what I mean? Like we are not shy to sack a manager. As of recording this right now, Ange won the Europa League 2 weeks ago, and he's probably getting sacked tomorrow.
In the future.
We've
obviously.
sacked loads of managers.
Too right,
But, you know,
James.
they have like 20 managers in like the
I like
last
that one.
few years. So yeah.
We've had what, like 5 in the last 4?
Yeah, but they're
Last
always
5?
like, you know, chipping and chopping.
We
ever
sacked a
since.
manager a couple of days before a final.
He was also ex-Chelsea. So he got like sacked twice by Chelsea as well. Their history of, I kind of appreciate that because, you know, they have won trophies because they're able to take those decisions. So that's something I'd say kind of respect about them, but, you know, just that one thing.
Sammy, you went first.
Get that man a degree in waffling. Like, listening back is so funny. Waffling. Pure waffle.
And since then, you haven't said too much. What are your reflections on what you've heard?
soaking in
Yeah,
all of the
so
information.
what are you hearing?
I think everyone is trying to be like hateful to Chelsea, but also some things are like coming through. I feel like Shadman, maybe you're a little bit like overly happy about the things that Chelsea do better, maybe.
No. I just appreciate maybe that one thing.
Okay, fine.
Sacking the managers.
Yeah, that's
Yes, another one gone.
They're just ruthless when it comes to do business.
Yeah, ruthless, but as the guys have said, well, you know, we've sacked more managers than enough. I can't even think of what the figure would be in the last sort of 10 or 20 years. It's probably not very vastly different than what Chelsea's is. So I don't know that I can necessarily agree.
All right, then let's go to a vote.
So who are you voting for based off of that one? I think that round is a little bit easier than the first.
Okay, the votes are in. Shadman, kick us off.
I voted for Sip.
Oh!
I felt like for the last question, he wasn't contributing as much. Whatever he said initially was too complimentary to Chelsea.
I got asked,
So that's why I voted
Shadman.
for Sip.
Shadman, I got asked directly. Flav pointed at me and he said, "You'll answer this question." I had to answer it.
I was asked what they do well.
Oh!
I felt like it was too complimentary. Like, yeah, there was no anger or hatred towards them. So yeah.
Because Chelsea ruined my life. I'm past anger now. It's just despair when I think of them.
Colin.
I went with James again. I'm stuck with my original thought. Again,
He hates
felt
it.
a bit
He
of a
hates getting
strange
votes.
Comment about, you know, one real trophy or whatever it was said. So yeah,
It was a
that-
memory of your
it's still-
favourite.
Yeah, it still felt like potentially a bit of a dig potentially. So
Sip.
I've gone for Shadman. I feel like all of his answers so far have been overly descriptive to the point of just sounds like you're trying to say things for the sake of saying them. So, yeah.
I've gone for Shadman as well. I think echoing what Colin said earlier, I think if you look back at our history with the question that you asked, our managerial record is probably very similar to Chelsea's at this point.
Okay, at the moment, Shadman has 2 votes, Sip has 1 vote, and James, you have 1 vote as well. It's your turn to vote. Who are you going for?
Sorry, Shad.
Oh,
Mate, I think
we survive
we've
another
been a bit
round.
Scripted so far, and the manager thing, you emphasise very much on Jose Mourinho being sacked from Chelsea twice. That was something you would definitely know as a Chelsea fan off the top of your head. Sorry, mate.
I mean, everyone knows that he's been sacked twice.
Yeah, but it just came very natural to you.
Guys, you've got it wrong once. Have you got it right this time? Shadman, if you want
What
to
do you
stand
reckon? What do you reckon? Fake or real?
up and slowly reveal if you are a true fan or a fake fan.
Knew it! Get him out! Too right.
I just wanted to sound delusional as possible. but the room was pretty sad. You know, they haven't won anything in a long time, and everyone kept bringing that up, and I think that contributed to me trying to overcompensate. No, I generally don't think there are any Chelsea fans. Maybe James, maybe, because I'm pretty sure the rest of the other three people, they're Spurs fans.
So, you have found your first fake fan. There could be another one at the table. Bit of relief for you there, Flav.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm sure you're very happy about. And I'm loving the strategy here because there's a balance between talking too much and talking too little. And I think we've got quite an observant bunch here. So let's...
Suspicious bunch as well.
Yes. When it comes to the prize fund, courtesy of that prize guy...
The room was tense as anything, by the way. Like, real tension in the air. Because no one in the production crew knows. You have to wear your jacket up all day. So you get there, you get given your t-shirt that's in a suit jacket bag, so no one knows. So no one on set, bar one woman who runs the whole thing, knows. So everyone on production, they take bets as well. So the room, you could hear a pin drop. It was palpable.
It remains at £3,800.
All right, let's go to the third round. It's a simple question. What do you hate most about Chelsea? Any one of you can kick us off.
The fact they always do run over on us, to be honest. Like, it's painful. And, you know, especially easy to say the other day, 2-0 up, 4-2 down. It's been like that for most of my life.
But we're so eager for every game. Like, I don't know about like last week. I was ready. I was excited. I was ready to.
See, this for me was chucking up some red flags because I would never in a million years be excited to play Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? And obviously we're all fans, we're all different. But hearing that, I was like, even if our men's team were playing against their under-12s, I would be worried they would find a way. Do you know what I mean? So when Sarah was offering this up, that she was excited for it, I was like, I don't know if I can get on board with that.
To go, I feel the same way literally every time we play
Did you
Chelsea.
think we was gonna
maybe
win?
this time, like we'll do it this time. We'll be fine. No.
Was you confident with us winning beforehand?
I didn't think we'd go like 2 up so quickly. As soon as we went 2 up, I was like, that's too early. But I was like slightly confident, yeah.
Colin?
Yeah, I think there's just nothing. There is just nothing that I could want like about Chelsea, about what they do, their supporters. Yeah, there's
When you say the
frustrations.
supporters, what do you mean?
Like there's I suppose emphasising that, but I'm a bit older, and yeah, there's been a lot of on-field and off-field issues between the two clubs, obviously, over the years. They're just hard to like any single solitary part of them, unfortunately, you know. So.
Sid?
Well, yeah, you haven't said much. Sid.
Very
No,
quiet.
I'm just observing answers. But similar to what Colin said, I'm like from the fans to the players, to like, the board. I just don't think that there's much from a Tottenham perspective you could say you like. There's the saying, I hate Arsenal because I'm Tottenham. I hate Chelsea because I'm human. It's just the way it goes. You can't.
God, mic drop. Sorry.
Like I said in a previous round, is unfortunately they always get the job done one way or the other. If any Tottenham fan wouldn't swap our last 20 years with theirs, I'd be very surprised.
Anyone?
See, now that, you sneaky editors, we were having a big discussion about ownerships, and obviously, I don't think the sport. I think I said some things that can't be shared. So, Flav asked me, would you swap our last 20 years? But that, out of context, looks crazy.
Anyone else want to take an opportunity to convince the others how much you hate Chelsea right now?
Colin hasn't actually said the things in particular. What you hate most?
If you're going to push me, it comes down to the supporters. It just comes down to supporters. You know, they talk obviously lots of plastic fans, and you know, it's just they just have a way of getting under your skin.
Right, grab your glasses, guys.
Who are you going for that round? Let me know.
Because now that you've found a fake fan, the majority of you can decide to end the game right now. So on the count of 3, if you feel confident that there are no more fake fans, no Chelsea supporters amongst you, raise your glass. But if you're suspicious at all, keep your glass down. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, they're
It's right,
convinced.
Flav. It's right.
They're convinced.
Suspicion is
Either
right.
there is definitely a Chelsea fan at the table, or they're very wrong.
It's time to vote.
The tension there was unbelievable.
Okay, guys, let's find the fake fan, if there is still one at the table. How have you voted, Sip?
I've gone for James.
Fuming! Does not like it. James, I'm sorry. Very sorry.
The answers have been pretty decent so far. I mean, in last round he picked on Colin, who hadn't said much, but again, as Colin said in his answer, if you genuinely feel there's not a lot to go from, then that's it. Yeah, and just some small things that I've just picked up on, really.
Like.
Oh, you wanted to fight me.
I mean, the Champions League story I get, but it could be a very generic story to make up. Could be a very wholesome story, but if you were to make up a story, that could be that. Taking everything outside, a lot away from it, I don't think I could ever pick that game as any sort of favourite memory because it was probably one of the worst days of my life. So yeah, that's why I go for that.
Should have been there, mate. It's a good party. It was a good party.
We still lost.
I know we did, but it's a good memory still.
Sammy.
I've gone for Sip.
What?
I think, even though he was asked about what Chelsea did better, I still think his answers were a little bit too nice towards Chelsea.
You asked me what Chelsea do better than us, and unfortunately, they win the big games. I don't, like I said, taking things aside, that's just sort of fact.
James.
Okay, I sort of sound like I'm going to cry there, so excuse that. But that's just facts.
I'm not sure about this, but I think I've gone for Colin. I think he's emphasised very much about he's an old boy supporter, but you've kind of cruised through it a lot without giving them so much knowledge that you should have.
Again, look,
really
I'll happily be testing my knowledge at any single point. I have no issue whatsoever.
Remember that. Happy to be tested.
Colin, let's see how you voted.
Stuck with my guns. I've went with James. Again, just too many things that just don't tie up for me right throughout the whole thing. So yeah, that's what I'm going for. Sticking to it.
Also, is there games being played? Is there? That's the bloody name of the game.
Consistent. It's been consistent.
It's been consistent, but maybe he's seen a weakness there. It doesn't matter because James, unfortunately, you've been eliminated and found potentially as a fake fan. Can you reveal whether or not that's true?
Don't listen to him.
I'm sorry, James. Looking back, the answers were obvious. They were staring me in the face. And I'm sorry. I'm very, very sorry.
Disappointing, especially being a Tottenham fan my whole life. I thought it'd be a breeze, to be honest, but
10 out of 10 kit choice,
There's
though.
definitely one still in there. It's between Colin and Sammy. I can't figure out who.
I'm in the clear with James. Nice.
Edging more towards Sammy being a Chelsea fan.
Absolute disaster there, guys. The prize fund, courtesy of that prize guy, has gone down.
Chill
from
with the side profile.
£3,800 to £2,600. You've lost £1,200. That's a lot of money. If there is a fake fan, a Chelsea supporter amongst you, they're playing a very, very good game.
Really good game. And there's another opportunity to find out if there is one at the table. You get an opportunity to ask one question to somebody else.
One question.
I had thought about this long and hard. And I had two questions in mind. And I'll let it play and I'll talk about my questions when it gets to me. But this decided my answer.
And one question only.
Okay, going to ask the question to Sammy. Sammy, who do you believe, who in your opinion, is the greatest Spurs player ever?
I mean, I feel like it would be silly for me to not say Harry Kane. But I mean, like, going through, even the last 20 years, just like...
Now, that question is possibly the worst question you could ask a fan, because I think I could go down to probably the Championship and be able to list off a couple of names that you could say have been your greatest ever player. Do you know what I mean? It's such an obvious question and so easily researchable. You don't even need to research for Tottenham. It's Kane. Like, it's always going to be Kane. So I was like, there's no way you've wasted your one question on that.
Are like forward players. It's been so attractive to watch. You've got Robbie Keane, Jermaine Defoe, even Peter Crouch, then Pavlyuchenko, loved him.
So she started dropping the streets we'll never forget players. Like, as soon as you're bringing up Pavlyuchenko in conversations, I've noted that.
Yeah, probably Kane. Probably Kane. I know it's like the cookie cutter answer, but I mean.
Okay. Colin, I'll ask, who do you think has been the most overrated player by Tottenham in the last recent years?
Fantastic question. What a good question. And I was talking to James Allcott after, and he said that was a brilliant question. Because it's all well and good knowing who's good for other teams. Like I said, you can do that for anyone. But to know who's overrated within the fan base, you have to be among it. Do you know what I mean? You have to. So one of the production staff actually came up to me after and said, who would be your answer? And I said, Eric Lamela. Tottenham fans loved him. I thought he was useless. Yeah, he tried and he was passionate. But unfortunately, when we needed him most, a lot of the time, he was injured. So I cooked with this question. I'm not even going to lie. This question was the one thing I needed to make my decision. Now, who would you say? Like, right? And who would be the last person that you would answer this question? Because I promise you, who he's about to say, you will not expect.
Toby. Toby.
Sorry? What? I was mind blown. Honestly, the worst answer.
Again, I just feel that for a lot of
Look at that face. I was gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked.
fans, everybody felt that he was top centre half. But I just think that there was enough occasions where big mistakes happened in big matches.
Right? Can you think of one? Now, earlier he said, happy to be tested.
That cost us.
Toby Alderweireld.
Yep.
That was a shocking answer. There's not many unacceptable answers, but that was one of them.
Yeah, that's one of the loves of my life.
I can't think of a single mistake or high-profile game.
There's
If you've got any examples, feel free to shout them out.
That was against City, 2019. Again, and it was City's a big match to us, you know what I mean? When we're challenged for Champions League, and he made a big mistake.
So, Sip hasn't had a question. Sammy, it's your question. So can you ask Sip a question?
I was planning on anyways.
See, I was getting targeted. Flav was picking on me.
That's fine. Sip, I've got a question for you.
Perfect. I've been waiting for one.
How are we feeling about current state of the club? How are we feeling about Ange?
Oh, I could be a
Levy?
half hour on this. I think our fans at the moment are not taking context or circumstances into our game at all. Don't get me wrong, we've had some stinkers. But take the Chelsea game, for example. We go 2-0 up, Romero gets injured, Johnson gets injured, Basuma gives away a stupid penalty, Sarr does the same. I don't know. I know people want Ange out and they want him to switch things up when it's not going right, but I don't know what people expect him to do when he's coaching wins. We had 6 big chances, missed 4 of them. I'm personally backing him till as long as he wants, because obviously when it's good, it's very good. We've seen that.
Fair enough. I completely agree. Yeah.
Because obviously when it's good, it's very good. We've seen that.
Fair enough. I completely agree. Yeah.
I completely agree. Write that down.
So we're at the end game stage where if you believe that there isn't a Chelsea fan at the table, that you're all Tottenham, you can raise your glass together and end the game now and take your share of the prize money from that prize guy.
But if you decide to end the game and there is still a fake fan amongst you, then that person will take all of the money. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh!
It was tense.
Oh no.
Okay, let's vote. Okay, it's tense. Here we go. Colin, who do you vote for and why?
Okay, I voted for SIP.
Ah!
And again, just to what I'd mentioned there, just in the last sort of few comments, there was just, I suppose, a bit of complimentary things about Chelsea, too much complimentary, I suppose, in my mind, that Sammy picked up on.
I voted for Colin.
He's done a smart thing there that Sammy picked up on. Reminded her.
It was purely based on that last answer alone. I think if you ask 9 out of 10 Tottenham fans who's been our best centre-back for the last 10, 15 years, Toby would probably be very at the top of the list. So that's
Again,
that
yeah,
alone.
it's all about it's football, it's opinion, and that's, you know, some people see
that's-
different
that's
things. So yeah.
Sip and Colin, you have 1 vote each. You've decided not to the end of the game earlier. So Sammy, you're about to either find a fake fan or send home another Spurs fan.
Well, I hope it's the fake fan. I've gone for SIP.
Oh! Too right, James. Too right.
I don't.
I did not take that.
That might be a crazy one.
So sorry.
His answer earlier, while it was fine, I think it was very recent, based off like very recent results. And also, when Colin picked James, the relief in SIP's eyes, I've never seen someone look more relieved in my life.
See, good point. But I had voted for James. So when James got voted out, I was happy because I thought he was fake. That's why my eyes looked like I was relieved, because I thought I was getting a fake fan out.
Ooh.
I think that's what swayed it for me.
Sammy.
See, I got cut off there, so I went to speak. I was asked about recent form, and I gave my opinion on recent form. Now, talking to James Allcott after, he said, had you gone like a couple games back, which I could have. We'd recently lost to Brighton and Newcastle just before that, I think. So it was there, but I felt that recent Chelsea game summed up our problems the most. Hence why I focused on that game.
Has made his decision. And the decision is, Sip, can you reveal if you are a true or a fake fan?
I am.
Colin, you've had me.
I'm mind blown. Mind blown. It's gutting, to be fair.
Flav knew. You heard him in the back saying I knew it. Fake fan, not me.
I think I had some.
Sorry, but my neck does not need to be that wide. There is no reason for my neck to be built like a Formula 1 driver on steroids. Why does my neck look like that? Yes, I've got a wham head, leave it out.
Good answers, and especially right before the end. I'd rather have gone out first than just before the last reveal, so it's a bit gutting. The game is really tricky because before that last round, I thought it was Colin and Sammy, but I went strictly off my last question's answer. Unfortunately, picking Toby as an overrated player is something I don't think many Tottenham fans would do.
Right, so you've just got rid of a Spurs fan. The prize pot is down to £1,400. If one of you is somehow a fake fan at this stage, you take home all of the prize pot. If you're both Tottenham, then you share it and you go and have a great Christmas.
Sammy, if you could stand up and reveal if you are a Tottenham fan or a Chelsea fan.
I am a Tottenham fan.
Yeah, that was relatively
So
obvious
Sammy
by
is
that
a
point.
true fan.
Colin is the only one in the room that knows the truth right now.
Correct. Colin, if you could stand up and let us know if you are a true fan or a fake fan.
It's happening again! Tottenham Hotspur! It's happening again!
Colin, what a dirty Chelsea rat. How dare you play me like that? Do you know what? Colin had me straight away with his backstory. I fully believed him. I fully supported him. And no, do you know what? I genuinely didn't think for a second that it was Colin.
It feels just like Chelsea. We always win, and the mug off Spurs is always a good thing. I'm going to have a great Christmas, that's for sure. And no doubt some of the money will go back to supporting Chelsea again.
Devastated. There I was, being told that Toby Alderweireld was overrated and then getting voted out. Can you believe it? But unbelievable experience, and that all happened just from them putting an Instagram story out and me applying. The process was pretty simple, so if you ever want to be on something like this, I don't know if they've done one in a while, but follow them on Instagram. But yeah, this was a really, really cool day for me. I really stepped outside my comfort zone. I'm all well and good, streaming and things like that, but being on set was a really new and exciting experience for me. And I also got to meet James and Flav, who I'm massive fans of, and they were both absolute gents. James said at first he thought I was a Chelsea fan, but then he very quickly thought that I wasn't, and Flav knew all along. So it was an absolute pleasure to meet them. And that right there is my experience on the Sports Bible Find the Fake Fan. So if you enjoyed this, like and comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Did I fumble it? Looking back now, Colin was very obviously not a Tottenham fan, but you live and you learn. So let me know. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you at some point soon.